It's good afternoon from Misano World Circuit. Marco Simoncelli here on a sweltering Saturday afternoon in July. And it is indeed Buon Compleanno for Ducati. Happy 100th birthday to Ducati. 1926 it all began, and here we are 100 years later in 2026. And we celebrate this incredible company with an absolutely splendid event. Greg Haynes with you here in the Misano trackside commentary box, and I have never known ever a racetrack as busy as this. The paddock is full with thousands and thousands of spectators, Ducatisti from all over Italy and all over the world. There will be a huge show in the paddock, on the track itself, in fact, later on this evening. But we have a plethora of Ducati people here from every destination you could possibly imagine. The legends of World Superbikes, the legends of MotoGP, and many of them on the track right now, as you can see for yourself. This is the Lenovo Race of Champions of 2026. The stream here on YouTube will be live from 12:15 tomorrow for the race itself. It's the fourth edition of the race, which started with Michele Pirro winning in 2018. Pecco Bagnaia has won the last two in 2022 and 2024. Well, Ducati Week runs every 2 years. We're just 4 minutes into the qualifying session here then now for tomorrow's race. They've had a 25-minute practice session just a short time ago, and what a lineup we have out on the track. 16 riders in total, and they're all running road-going Panigale V4 machines, but the Tricolore specification is pretty much the creme de la creme, with this stunning motorcycle that has dominated and continues to dominate the World Superbike Championship of 2026. Two Superbike riders on screen right now then. They're all on identical machines, but everybody running with their race liveries this season. Nicolo Bulega here, followed by Alberto Surra. Bulega absolutely spectacular there down through Rio Corner, and it doesn't get much better than that. The young Italian, who surely is off to MotoGP next season. Number 11, the 26-year-old from Montalcino, Emilia, ahead of Alberto Surra. And as you can see from the graphics on the left-hand side of your screen, it's Surra who is currently on pole position at the moment. Now, Bulega's best time earlier on in practice was a 1:34.9. We're not yet on those times. Surra's current best is a 35.7. Pole position last time out 2 years ago was a 35 flat for Andrea Iannone. So the benchmark time was at 1:34 that we saw for Bulega. 1:34.945 in practice earlier on this afternoon. Down through the Caro hairpin now. You can see the riders who are on personal best sector times with the orange boxes on the left-hand side of your screen. If they set a personal best time, the lap is coloured in orange, as Alvaro Bautista's just done. Montella now moving up into 6th place. 16 riders then are involved in this session, and what a lineup this is. The current pole position is for World Superbike star with Moto Corsa, Alberto Surra, who in his first season has already been in the top 10 12 times and 2 top 5 finishes. He was 6th, 7th and 6th was Surra in the 3 Misano races when World Superbike raced here last month. Two-time MotoGP World Champion Pecco Bagnaia is currently in 2nd place. And Baldassarri now, with the Go 11 livery, moves up into pole position. This is the man, of course, who is a former Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup title winner. 3 times a Moto2 Grand Prix winner in succession when he dominated the start of the season in 2019. He's been a runner-up in the Supersport World Championship, and Balda already twice on the podium with a couple of 3rd places, one in Australia, one in Hungary in World Superbike so far this season. So 18 minutes to go, and Baldassarri is on pole position here. The air temperature is nudging on 32 degrees Celsius, humidity of 47%, and the track temperature 51 degrees as we approach 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Baldassarri with the yellow Go 11 colours is currently on pole from Surra, and then it's this man, number 63, Pecco Bagnaia, the 29-year-old from Turin. He won the last edition in 2024. He won the previous edition in 2022, and he's currently starting third on the grid, which would be one spot slower than he did last time. There goes Buliga, 1:34.9 again. This is what he did in practice earlier on, but this time he's gone even quicker by 2 thousandths of a second. So a 1:34.943 is the fastest time of the event so far here for the man who's dominating World Superbikes. He's won every single one of the 21 races so far this season, 25 in succession if you include the last 4 of 2025. Buliga, Baldassarri, Surra is the order. Pecco Bagnaia is on a better lap and could be moving back up onto the front row of the grid. Tommy Bridewell, the 2023 British Superbike champion, who's already had a stunning top 5 finish with the new Advocates team in World Superbikes this season. He's 5th here at the moment from Jari Montella. Then it's Fabio Di Gianantonio, the Catalan Grand Prix winner of MotoGP this season. He's 7th from Hafiz Shireen, racing for Ducati in the Asian Championship. Frankie Morbidelli is now up to 6th position. Alvaro Bautista is 10th. Tara McKenzie, World Superbike rider, former BSB champion, is 11th. From the man who's looking to win another title in Euromoto this season, the German Championship used to be known as IDM. Their representative here is Lukas Tulovic, number 3, the 26-year-old from Evernbach in Germany. New Yorker PJ Jacobson has made his way across the pond to join us here on behalf of Moto America. Now remember, PJ was actually leading his last Moto America race before he crashed and it all went wrong at the Ridge. But great to see PJ over here in Europe and enjoying some action. Josh Waters is here as well, the 3-time Australian Superbike champion, most successful rider in Australian Superbikes. Yet to set times are Michele Pirro, ahead of his 40th birthday here tomorrow. I won't say that again though until the day comes, because I know it's bad luck to talk about somebody's birthday in Italy before the day itself. Michele, there were some doubts whether he would actually be racing here at all because he crashed in practice on Thursday and hurt his left arm. So I'm glad that he's out there on the track. He's just left the pits, Michele Pirro, and so has another man I'm yet to talk about, 9-time Grand Prix world champion Marc Marquez, who of course is 5th in the World Championship at the moment, is Marc. Sprint wins in Brazil, Jerez and Hungary. Back-to-back Grand Prix wins in Hungary and Brno in the Czech Republic just a few weekends ago. Marc, as I say, is on an outlap. Practice earlier on today, just to give you an idea of the rundown. Buliga was fastest from Baldassarri and Montella. Then it's the rider on screen here, Alberto Surra for Moto Corsa from Bagnaia and Bridewell. Marquez just taking it easy in practice, relatively speaking, 2.7 seconds down, getting used to this bike, down in 11th position. But remember how he got stronger and stronger across the event last time we had this special Lenovo Race of Champions in 2024. And it all, of course, ended in tears as Bagnaia crossed the line to win ahead of Andrea Iannone. Marc Marquez dived up the inside of this man, Nicolo Buliga, and took him down into the last corner. Hopefully, no such drama in 2026. Let's also take the opportunity to send our love and best wishes to Nicolo's teammate, Iker Lecuona. He's not here this weekend for very good reasons, because his wife, Gemma, has just given birth a couple of days ago to baby Luna. Mum and baby are perfectly fit and well, I am delighted to say. And Iker, if you're watching, we send you our many, many best wishes from here at Misano, and congratulations to you and the entire family. That's baby Luna Lecuona, who was born 2 days ago. So 25-minute session, 13 minutes left in the session, and let's see what Mr. Marquez can do for the first time this afternoon. There he is, number 93. Behind him, the multiple Italian Superbike champion, Michele Pirro. 6 times an Italian national champion on a Superbike, once an Italian national champion on a Super Sport bike, and twice an Italian national champion on a super stock bike. Nobody's done more miles or kilometres for Ducati than the test rider and occasional MotoGP and World Superbike racer Michele Pirro. Marquez pushing on then now down into Rio corner. Pirro right behind him, following Marc perhaps for the lines, because Michele's lappage has been limited so far this weekend because of that crash on Thursday in which he injured his left arm. Jari Montella, as you may have noticed on the graphics, has just jumped up into second position on the Barney Spark liveried number 5 bike and just misses out on Budiger's pole time. Montella only 26 thousandths of a second down on Budiger at the moment. Jari, who incidentally, of course, is one of several riders looking to take Nicolo's ride when he moves up to MotoGP. Still awaiting that announcement, aren't we, for 2027. Marquez and Pirro then just switching positions on track. What's going on down at VR46? Frankie Morbidelli is currently 5th. Ferry de Gianantonio is in 8th place. This is Frankie. Brazilian heritage, of course, even though he is an Italian rider, former Moto2 world champion, former European Superstock 600 champion in the World Superbike paddock before he switched across to Grand Prix racing. Here's Montella, fastest part of the circuit down through the Cavoni. Misano, of course, used to be an anti-clockwise track. It was switched round after the circuit was closed and then reopened in 2006. Out of the Caro hairpin, through the left-hander of turn 15. This is where the stage will be set up, right where that green paint is, for the huge event that will be taking place in front of some 4,000 people in the grandstands later on this evening at 22:10. If you're here at Misano, try and come along because it will be spectacular. All of the Ducati legends here, from Grand Prix racing, from Superbikes, all of the current riders, team representatives, and we will see an incredible drone display and firework display at the end of the night before the party kicks into life at about 11:30 or midnight, and I'm sure it will rage long into the night before the Lenovo Race of Champions takes place here, with the stream starting here on YouTube at 12:15 local time on Sunday afternoon. So set a reminder on YouTube. You can see the stream is already there, and the countdown is already on for the Sunday live stream here for the Lenovo Race of Champions. Baldassarri backing his way down into Misano corner at the end of the lap here at Misano World Circuit, on the power with this Panigale V4 Tricolore. What has Balda done? Over the line, and he moves up into pole position. By far the fastest lap of the weekend so far, but it's not over yet because Budiger is going even quicker. These times are unbelievable. A 1:34.386 now for World Superbike superstar Nicolo Budiger. And we've currently got a World Superbike 1:234. Now, to be fair to the MotoGP riders, of course, the Superbike riders are used to these Ducati Panigale V4s. It's all a little bit funny for the Grand Prix riders. They're used to stiffer chassis, much better brakes, of course, on Grand Prix bikes, and greater acceleration. These riders, the Superbike riders, they're used to this kind of machine. It all feels a little bit softer underneath you with the suspension and the brakes that they have available, as good as they are. And of course, the slick Pirelli tyres that we're using here, very different to the Michelin rubber in MotoGP. But I'm sure you know, everything's going to switch around next year when Superbikes goes to Michelin and MotoGP will change to Pirelli. How's Budiger getting on this time? A red helmet in sector 1 with the fastest first sector so far. He's lost a few thousandths in sector 2. He comes through the Cavoni. He's still looking like he is on rails. This is incredible from Nicolo Budiger, the rider who stepped up as World Supersport Champion of 2023. Look at him slamming on the rear brake down through the hairpin. Applies the power. Traction control working overtime through turn 15. Mind the green paint. Nowhere near the green paint. Through Misano corner. A very consistent run. He's not going to improve unless he's done something incredible in that 4th and final sector. Over the line he goes. It was almost the same lap as last time around. Look at that, just 65,000 slower as the guru himself. Gigi Dell'Igna watches on here. Behind him is Davide Tardozzi, the man overseeing the Lenovo Ducati team these days in the MotoGP World Championship. And Davide, of course, was the first ever Superbike race winner when the championship started at Donington Park in 1988. How is Marc Marquez getting on? I think he's just being a little bit careful, isn't he? He's down in 13th position at the moment. The times are close, though, because if Marc could find just a few more tenths of a second, he would actually be up into the top 10. And this is very much what he did when we were last here for this event in 2024. Starting off, just building, and then got much stronger as we got into the race on Sunday. Look at Pecco Bagnaglia's time in Sector 1. Look at Pecco Bagnaglia's time in Sector 2 as the VR46 bike of Fabio Di Gianantonio makes it a double fluorescent yellow row 2, just slotting into 6th position there behind his teammate Franco Morbidelli. But Pecco Bagnaia is the man we need to watch out for now. This is Buliga down into the hairpin. He's still within 2/10 of his pole time. This is like a mini race simulation here going on already for Nicolo Buliga. Pecco has lost a little bit of time, as you can see in Sector 3. He's currently down in 7th position, but we should be seeing Bagnaia move up into a front row position and quite possibly second. Baldassarri's over the line, but look out for Pecco Bagnaia. He'll be coming into the shot very soon indeed. That's Tara McKenzie, former British Superbike champion, who's doing great things this year with the MGM Optical Express team, the German team, in the World Superbike Championship. A 4th place at the opening round in Australia and a 5th place here at Misano just a few weekends ago. Pecco Bagnaia is going over the line. It looks as though he's lost time. In fact, he's pitted. Bagnaia has pulled into the pits, and here he is, chatting away with Tardozzi. Doesn't seem 100% pleased, does he? He was challenging for a front row position when he came in, and he's running out of time now. Just 6 minutes to go here. There's Giancarlo Filappa. Great to see Giancarlo here. An absolute legend of the World Superbike Championship. His career, of course, his life changed very much when he had that terrible crash at Albacete in Spain in 1994, but one of the real characters of Italian motorcycle racing and indeed World Superbikes through the 90s. There he is, Giancarlo Filappa there, just disappearing out of shot in the background. Pecco Bagnaia then having a very, very close look at the Perugia timing system in the garage. Because he pitted at the end of that lap, of course, he remains in 7th place, keeps his helmet on, he'll be going back out shortly. It's still Buliga with just over 5 minutes to go. Baldassarri is second. Here comes Surra. Now, this could indeed be the front row of the grid for number 67, Alberto Surra, for Moto Corsa Racing. Grand Prix experience, of course, having previously spent time in Moto 3. Then he moved up to Moto 2 with Forward Racing and Speed Up. He's raced in the European Moto 2 Championship as well. And there was a fantastic substitute rider in World Supersport when he came in halfway through last season and actually scored a podium finish. Great season so far in World Superbikes with Moto Corsa, and he takes no prisoners. We saw that collision, didn't we, at Most in Czechia with Sam Lowes. Sam and Mark VDS incidentally not taking part this weekend, but we will see them in action as World Superbikes continues at Donington Park next weekend. Bagnaia now leaving the pits as Surra pushes on. But 2 big races, of course, for the World Championship next weekend. We'll have Donington Park World Superbikes, and MotoGP will be off to the Sachsenring for the German Grand Prix. And something unusual and interesting always happens at the Sachsenring. Down to La Quercia corner now for Alberto Surra. La Quercia meaning the oak tree. The oak tree on the infield, on the inside of the corner. Now heading west to Tremonto, the sunset corner. The double right-hander at the far end of the track, taken in 1st or 2nd gear, depending on the bike. Everybody here on the V4 Tricolore edition of the Panigale. So an upgrade for the Lenovo Race of Champions because they used the V2 last time. But look at this. The man himself, Casey Stoner, has come all the way from Australia. Claudio Domenicali, the CEO of Ducati, on our right. And it's been absolutely brilliant to see the likes of Marc Marquez and Casey Stoner chatting with one another. Have a look on the YouTube feed and the social media of Ducati to see some interesting chats between Casey and Marc. Casey, of course, won his very first MotoGP race in Qatar when he joined the Ducati factory team in 2007, having stepped up from the satellite ranks. and of course memorably went on to win the title with some amazing battles with Valentino Rossi and others over the years. Casey, of course, was the first and last champion in the 800cc era of MotoGP, and we're all intrigued to see what happens next season when it goes 850. Bulega is on another good lap, but here comes Pecco Bagnaia in the meantime, the 2022 and 23 MotoGP World Champion. I'm sure there will be a very emotional goodbye from Ducati for Pecco, not just at the end of the season, but here this weekend as well, with hundreds of thousands of people attending across the several days of what is not just an event, it's not just a race, it is a festival. We've got the off-road bikes here, with people able to learn how to ride. They can go do laps around the track. We've seen also all of the superstars out there in Lamborghinis yesterday, and a particularly incredible parade when we had the actual MotoGP bikes, the actual current superbikes, and a plethora of national championship machinery all out there together yesterday. The noise was out of this world. And Bulega's overcooked it down at turn 1, the Variante del Parco, the park chicane. He'll get one more lap in Nicolo if you push for it. He's used to being on pole position, of course. He's been on pole position at every single one of the 7 rounds of the Superbike World Championship so far this season, as well as winning every single one of the 21 races. So anything less than a win tomorrow for Nicolo would be unacceptable by his standards. Down into the last corner now for Jari Montella, the man whose family is rather famous in the south of Italy for the bread that they sell. And over the line goes Jari. That's his best of qualifying, but not enough to bump Baldassarri down to 3rd place. So Jari Montella in the Barney Spark livery is still in 3rd position as we get to the last minute. Bulega will just be taking it relatively calm now on this lap to get round, ready for one more flying lap. Josh Waters, you saw going through the screen there, you just seen there he is in the foreground, the Australian Superbike star. He's down in 16th position at the moment behind PJ Jacobson. Lucas Tulovic is in 14th place. Here's the 5th place man, Frankie Morbidelli. Now this could be good for Frankie. Frankie could be moving up onto the front row of the grid if he can keep up this sort of pace as he comes up to the blisteringly fast right-hander at the Cavoni. Morbidelli, how's he getting on? We'll see his latest sector time when he comes through towards the Caro hairpin in just a few seconds time. And he's got out of it. He's got out of it. Pecco Bagnaia though now, he's out there. And here he is. Pecco Bagnaia's put in 2 stunning 1st and 2nd sectors, and this could be a surprise for Mr. Bulega. Bulega's gone over the line. I'll let you know who's first to take the checkered flag. The checkered flag is out now. Look at Michele Pirro backing his way down into the hairpin. Absolutely incredible. But Bagnaia has obviously made a few setup changes. We saw him chatting away with the team when he came in just a few minutes ago, and he is flying. Here's Pecco into that last corner. He's within 2 tenths of Bulega. He's struggling a little bit in that 3rd sector, but this should at least be the front row of the grid. Yes, it is. Pecco Bagnaia is up into 3rd position. Montella over the line. Lost ground then at the end of the session, but that was a last gasp fantastic effort from Francesco Bagnaia, who won this race in 2022. He won again in 2024, and the 1st sector was absolutely unbelievable. He was 7 tenths of a second quicker than Nicolo Bulega. Lost a couple of tenths in sector 2, but Bagnaia plants his Panigale V4 Tricolore on the front row to join Bulega, who takes pole, and Baldassarri, who is 2nd. And Baldo was absolutely pushing like mad in the demonstration laps yesterday, as Casey Stoner and Davide Tardozzi are deep in conversation, as you can see for yourself. Shame we can't hear what's being discussed, isn't it? Because I would love to know what's being discussed down there. Here comes Bulega. He won't improve on this last run, but it doesn't matter, because Nicolo Bulega, Mr. Pole Position, Mr. Race Winner of 2026, is, surprise, surprise, on pole again. Any late changes? Lucas Tulovic has just put in his best lap at the end there for 14th place. And I'm also going to be interested to see what Marc Marquez is going to do in the race tomorrow, coming from 12th position, a lot lower than we would have expected. Marc, who started 5th on the grid for the previous edition of 2024. So, for the Lenovo Race of Champions this year, which has its stream starting on YouTube at 12:15 local time tomorrow. So that is just coming up to 20 hours from now, wherever you're watching from around the world. Greg Haynes with you here in the Ducati commentary box. 20 hours from now, and we will be live with the race. But look at that. 1:34.386 for Nicolo Bulega to stick the Ducati on pole position. And he certainly looks like the favourite, but I'm going to be interested to see what the likes of Bagnaia can do off the line from the front row of the grid when we get racing tomorrow. All of the Superbike riders, though, extremely comfortable with this machinery because they've had a test here just a month or so ago. They had a full race weekend here a month ago. And, of course, they know this bike very well indeed. Not quite this version of it, of course, but it's not that different from what's raced these days in the Superbike World Championship. To put it into perspective, though, Bulega's pole position time when we were here in June for World Superbikes, it was a 1:31.3. Today, he's just grabbed pole with the road-going version of a 34.3. Yes, the weather conditions perhaps a little bit different with a track temperature of 50 degrees Celsius, but it just goes to show you, doesn't it? As good as the road bike is, it's amazing what they can do on a full Superbike weekend. They were 3 seconds quicker. But let's not forget, this is a road-going bike. It's the Tricolore edition. It's got the black forged aluminium wheels. And look at the wheels. They look absolutely superb. So aggressive. There's an oil catch pan, which is integrating into the fairing, actually, and a fuel vent recovery system as well. The new aluminium fuel cap and all sorts of different things as well, including special suspension from Öhlins, the brake system from Brembo, and the SCX tyre is also available here from Pirelli. Exactly the same tyre they can use in the Superbike World Championship. The SC1 and the SCX they have available this weekend if they so wish. Interview just been carried out now down in the Parc Fermé area. Pecco Bagnaia then will start third on the grid, the number 63, the 29-year-old from Turin in Italy. MotoGP World Champion of 22 and 23. Winner of this event in 22 and 24. Baldassarri on the yellow bike for Go 11. They'll be delighted with that. He's 29 years of age, just as Bagnaia is, from San Severino Marche here in Italy. Balda will start second, and the man you've just seen on replay, and here he is, Nicolo Bulega, number 11, is on pole position here. 26 years of age. He will turn 27 in October. He's from Montalcino Emilia here in Italy. So it is indeed 3 Italians on the front row of the grid. That's Serafino Fotti there on the right-hand side, the former World Superbike and Super Sport rider, who's now the team principal for the field racing run Aruba.it team in the Superbike World Championship, which is absolutely dominating. Interviews now for Italian television and around the circuit there for Nicolo Bulega. For those of you watching here at the track, there's plenty more action coming up if you're trackside with the V2 Future Championship about to take place. So all sorts of different Ducatis racing on the circuit this weekend. It will be Davis Bergamini on pole position for that one from Andrea Migno and Elia Bartolini. So the V2 Ducatis on track next for those of you who are here at Misano. Lorenzo Baldassarri then now chatting away for those listening in here at the circuit. And he absolutely means business. Remember, it's a real privilege for so many of these riders to be up against the likes of MotoGP world champions like Pecco Bagnaia and Marc Marquez. Marquez, incidentally, who's won 6 MotoGP Grand Prix on this track, including the last 2 of 2024 and 25. 16 riders in total, 8 of them from Italy, 2 from Spain, 2 from the UK, and then 1, we've got Josh Waters from Australia, Lucas Tulovic representing Germany, Hafiz Shirin from Malaysia, and of course PJ Jacobson from New York in the United States. Great for PJ to have made his way across the pond. Here's Balda. A lot of people said his podium at Phillip Island in Australia was a bit of a flash in the pan. Well, they were wrong, because he took another podium in World Superbikes at Ballerton Park with another 3rd place in the Superpole race there. The bike's been cooled down here as quickly as possible because the track temperature is 50 degrees Celsius. Our colleagues at Sky Italia now chatting away with our pole sitter Nicolo Bulega. So plenty of action coming here from 12:15, just under 20 hours from now for the Lenovo Race of Champions of 2026. We will be back on Sunday. If you're here at Misano, don't forget to come along to the Super Show we have tonight, starting at 20 to 10. Let's review the highlights, though, of the qualifying session. We'll see you tomorrow.